Hello everyone, welcome back to the Maverick channel. On this channel, if you're new to this channel, we talk about real world use cases of cryptocurrencies, digital currencies, whether it's real world assets being used in the cryptocurrency space or whether it's virtual assets within the cryptocurrency space being leveraged within the cryptocurrency space. So beyond just the tokens, beyond just the tokenomics, but actually looking at that real use case, that leveraging of digital assets. For example, if we look at things like NFTs, how can NFTs be leveraged in the cryptocurrency space as we see right now, beyond the speculation, beyond the art, beyond the aesthetics that we see on top of them? What is the utility of these assets? How are digital assets working or infiltrating the supply chain in the digital asset space? Thankfully, some of the companies that I like to talk about here, because that's their pursuit, that's their main MO, they like to pursue things like that. So mostly Fetch.AI, mostly companies within the Cosmos ecosystem. I also look at within the Ethereum when you're looking at companies focusing on synthetics, but even Bitcoin itself plays a major role in the cryptocurrency space, if not just serving the role of providing tremendous amount of liquidity, but also just as serving as a store of value, as a protection against inflation. This inflation ghost roaming around, if we can call it that. So guys, I want to cover a couple of articles in this video today. Actually, not articles, but rather concepts based off certain articles. So there was something written by Mettalex, two articles, I don't know how I missed them. They talk about some platforms that you can actually leverage. You can use your NFTs and to provide more liquidity and things like that, to swap them from one asset to another. We're going to talk about some partnerships with a company called Datarella, which is making some major headwinds. They made an announcement that I was actually quite surprised about. So let us actually start our video. But the first thing that I want to start with is this. This is about Ripple, so the company that holds most XRP, the company that has that case with the SEC, with the Securities Exchange Commission in the US. They're trying to sue the two heads of that's Chris Larsen and Brad Garlinghouse. They're trying to sue them for apparently selling unregistered securities. Those are the two heads of Ripple. So this apparently they did this a couple of years back. So apparently these same guys, there's this organization called the Digital Europe Association. So the Digital Euro Association is delighted to announce its partnership with Ripple as a supporting partner to jointly work on central bank digital currencies. So these are CBDCs. And Ripple, one of the leading providers of enterprise blockchain and crypto solutions for cross-border payments, has recently developed a blockchain-based infrastructure to support CBDCs and is engaged with Bhutan's central bank. So amongst others, to help execute their CBDC pilot, Ripple is also a member of the Digital Pound Foundation and continues to extend its efforts around CBDCs worldwide. So the DEA partner with Ripple includes, amongst others, joint education efforts around digital currencies and knowledge and exchange. This is a quote from them. So we're thrilled that due to the partnership with Ripple, we can extend the technological expertise of the DEA community as more and more CBDC projects worldwide reach advanced stages. Technological design of a CBDC will play a key role for policymakers in the near future, while previous years focused primarily on research, said Jones Gross, chairman of the Digital Association Group. So we're excited to join the Digital Euro Association as a supporting partner to further develop our work with the CBDC area. The DEA is working across Europe and global markets to drive development and growth of CBDCs, and specifically the digital euro. Ripple has invested significantly in the CBDC world, with a team of around 40 people globally helping develop and deliver solutions of CBDCs and stablecoins. We look forward to working with the DEA to further our work on CBDCs over the next few months, say James Wallace, VP of Central Bank Engagements in Ripple. So of course they go ahead to talk about DEA. I've explained who Ripple is or who they are. One of the leading providers of enterprise blockchain and crypto solutions. So these guys actually sell financial products to different organizations, mainly banks and institutions. There's some websites out there you can check out for more details about this. And the DEA, the Digital Euro Association, is a think tank specializing in central bank digital currencies, stablecoins, crypto assets, and other forms of digital money based in Frankfurt, Germany. So You can read more, you can look into this. I think it's quite interesting. Some people are bullish about CBDCs, others are not. But I think it's pretty interesting to see Ripple continue to make headwinds, which means there's something in the background that we don't know about, something that's being hidden from us, especially with this case with the SEC and Ripple. I think there's something being hidden there. But who knows? Who knows? I think that's bullish for those that are into the XRP and Ripple ecosystem. Now, going back to the real world use cases, supply chain, there's a company called Datarilla which is building on top of Fetch.AI, which is building these things called autonomous economic agents, which essentially act as digital assistants on behalf of people, machines, and so on. Now, these guys are the Datarilla people. They're creating micromobility infrastructure where you can get rewarded for using non-internal combustion equipment, such as scooters, things that don't use combustion, don't burn fossil fuel to work. So Weaver Labs, to support humanitarian agencies across the globe as part of a European Space Agency's €747,000 investment into Track and Trust. Weaver Labs joins Track and Trust consortium to demonstrate and commercialize special link tracking across the supply chain. The investment represents part of a €1.5 million project to establish networks that allow for end-to-end tracking and delivery of goods, aid, and shipment. Now, this is where it gets interesting. So London, UK, 18th of October 2021. This was when this was actually released. Weaver Labs, the UK startup driving growth through connectivity, will work in collaboration with Oracle Tech as part of a Track and Trust consortium led by Datarilla to tackle complex supply chain challenges for humanitarian agencies across the world. So guys, I'm not going to read this whole thing, but essentially Datarilla working with Fetch.AI, really working on these agents that are optimized through machine learning and AI, and also the way they're built, also having features like interoperability, being able to operate, being able to serve as essentially as layer 2 scaling solutions. So they're able to operate within this environment known as an open economic framework, and also they can operate outside of that. So which means that these agents can allow a connectivity between different blockchains. So which means they can allow for transfer of data, transfer of price feeds, all kinds of data needed. So an Oracle data service kind of thing. So Datarilla and what they're trying to do in combination with Fetch.AI and the product they're building, okay, they actually just released the mainnet and they just tested their IBC, their inter-blockchain connectivity transfer, and it's actually working. So Datarilla partnering with Fetch.AI, I think, fits perfectly in their MO of supply chains, micromobility, and all that. So that's really, really cool. So guys, and now here, okay, we saw a tweet from Jonathan Ward, who's the CTO of Fetch.AI. So that's the Chief Technical Officer. Thanks to everyone in the Fetch.AI network for their help with the network upgrade. So what he's trying to say here is that there was a vote that was pushed out there for Fetch.AI to upgrade its network to IBC, the Inter-Blockchain Communication Protocol, and it overwhelmingly 99% of the votes voted in favor of this proposal. So still early days, but the first IBC transactions have successfully been sent fed to the osmosis zone. So this is really exciting news. You can see here on the osmosis zone, you can see, actually the time I saw this, there were, I think, less than this, but there are 40 transactions and a 16 total amount of tokens. I guess tokens have been pushed across the IBC. So this is pretty cool. We're seeing the first moves of IBC integration with Fetch.AI materialize. And the small tweet here, there's a Twitter account called Cosmos Ecosystem at Cosmos Ecosystem, upgrading some of the upgrades within the Cosmos blockchains themselves. And it's nice to see that Fetch was mentioned here. So Cosmos Week News, drop in the comments IBC gang projects you want to see here, or what is the most event you're excited about or waiting for. So hashtag Atom and others as well, Akash, FET, IOV, and so on. So of course you can read through this. They mentioned Atom, the Cosmos SDK, the 7 million IBC transfers last month. That's a lot. Okay, first decentralized Atom perpetual. So this is a summary of what's happening. Bitcana is now available. Uniswap. So these are different ecosystems. Akash. Then they mentioned Fetch.AI, which Fetch mainnet upgrade has completed. So that's what we've just looked at. Then Fetch.AI backs Unicred with strategic partnership. Amazing stuff. I covered that in some of the partnerships. Starname. These are essentially decentralized names on the Cosmos ecosystem. So payments with Starname profile. Kepler, which is the main Web3 wallet to use on the Cosmos ecosystem, and they've enabled the Huahua tokens, who are the sort of the meme coins on the Cosmos ecosystem. There's others like Yumi, Juno, Evmos, which is creating that interoperability with Ethereum, Litecoin, and of course we've looked at Aqua. You can look at other ecosystems on the Cosmos ecosystem if you go down on this thread as well. They talk about some others like Cover Labs, which is dealing in DeFi, Osmosis, one of the biggest DEX, P-Stake, which is trying to create a liquid staking. So if you stake your Atom tokens, you can actually leverage them. Sif Chain, Sputnik, so Emrys, they're trying to really, with Stargaze, they're trying to create this complex interoperability, but easy to use UI that allows interoperability with different Cosmos ecosystems, and then eventually beyond that, and staking and so on, injective protocol. So in short, there's a lot happening around the Cosmos ecosystem, and it's nice to see that some of the companies we're extremely excited about are also embedded within the Cosmos ecosystem and leveraging these different technologies. Now, guys, back to Mettalex. Guys, this is the article I wanted to look at today. I'm not going to read everything. I'm just going to talk about the summary. I don't know how I missed this. This was an article, research article written by Mettalex on February 4th, and there was a second one. So Mettalex research NFTs as collateral in DeFi. So essentially what they're talking about here, they're doing an introduction of NFTs. You all know these non-fungible tokens that rely on the ER721 standard on the Ethereum network, and also ERC 1155 standard. So I think there's ERC 721. The ERC 20 tokens are the tokens. Then we have the NFTs, and also NFTs that can be not only non-fungible but can be used for other things, which are in the standard of the 1155 standards on the Ethereum network. So here they kind of give a summary of how we have seen platforms out there, because there are novel NFTs like the CryptoPunks, the Bored Ape Yacht Clubs. There's some other NFTs out there that have established themselves, but they note that some of the issues within the NFT ecosystem is liquidity, valuation of these NFTs, the liquidation of these NFTs. So selling them, it's really hard. So they talk about here some of the platforms that have really tried to, basically like the way we know decentralized exchanges, but they've done that for the NFT sector. So like Starter, I'm going to take a quick look at some of them, like Starter, NFT-Fi, so Genesis, then NFT fractionalization, so breaking down these NFTs so that different people can own different fractions of the NFTs. So we can see some of the platforms that are actually doing this. We have NFTX, which allows users to make ERC20 tokens called FUDs that are backed by NFT collectibles and then traded for those tokens on the DEX Uniswap. And now, guys, there's a reason why Mettalex is talking about these things, and that is the Vlad, one of the leaders of the spokespeople of the NFT of the Mettalex ecosystem, did a video the other day, I think 2 days ago, 1 day ago, and made a good summary of what Mettalex is looking at as they're going into the future of their development. Those that don't know about Mettalex, it's a decentralized exchange that's dealing in really bringing real world assets, equities, commodities onto the trading DeFi crypto ecosystem. So there's other platforms here. I'll get into that in a bit. There's other platforms here that I mentioned after NFT 20. There's also Fractional as well. So if you go into some of these platforms, you can see their MO, buy and sell mint fractions of NFTs. So this is for fraction art. So if you're looking into something like this, guys, this is something you might want to look into, especially. So they give an example here. This is an example of like a Bored Ape Yacht Club, Bored Ape, right? So there's someone who owns $80,000, 2% of it. These NFTs are really expensive. So 1%, that's $40,000 worth, 0.4%, $16,000 worth, and other people can own like an 8,000th of a percent of this NFT and still have ownership of that. There's others like NFT 20, where you can actually see a category of NFTs that they support, and you can click on them to see if you can actually trade them. For example, I have some Decentraland NFTs, some real estate. You don't have, I think the wallet that I'm connected to right now is not the one that has them, but if you have them, then it can show you that you have these NFTs, and it allows you to swap them for other novel NFTs or similar NFTs. And these others, you can see NFTX, they actually launched them, they actually show the NFTs here, and you can do so many other kinds of features. You can swap them for other NFTs. They try to increase the liquidity of these NFTs and create more utility for them. Genesis Trade, become a client. Some of these, they're tied into real world sort of assets kind of thing. So they require a certain level of KYC. So with this KYC, they're able to keep track of their customers and provide real valuation of these NFTs and so on. So borrow cash with your NFTs, and this is starter.co. So starter.co is the one with this lending platform here. So some of them allow to borrow and lend with your NFTs. So essentially increasing more utility for those NFTs. So these guys went ahead to publish a second article, and I'll just read this first part of this article because they gave a reason as to why they published the second article. So in part 1 of this Mettalex research series, we explore 2 different price discovery mechanisms for NFTs, namely auctions and fractionalization. These 2 valuation approaches are mainly focused on digital art and collectible NFTs. So they have already been proven to be inefficient or non-applicable in the case of NFTs representing tokenized real-world assets. So guys, those that know Fetch.AI, which is pretty much the mother company or the mother company, and then you have others like Mettalex, and you have another one like Atomex forming under that umbrella, the Fetch.AI umbrella. So these companies are all looking forward or looking to at least eventually run on the Fetch.AI mainnet. Right now, they're mostly running, especially Mettalex is running on the Binance Smart Chain. But eventually, as Fetch.AI keeps upgrading and upgrading, as the Cosmos ecosystem upgrades as well, they look to leverage the Cosmos ecosystem because there's going to be a lot of liquidity there. So they talk about things like the appraisal model. The appraisal model requires a third party, usually an expert, to estimate the value of an asset. So guys, I'm not going to read all these things, but I'm going to summarize it in the eyes of the Atomex token that they're building. So here they talk about real world assets and DeFi. So how can true utility of real world assets like real estate, of course, buildings, land, if you're a farmer, how can you, or if you're a hardware person, how can you actually give your novel hardware equipment or tools and use them to acquire liquidity to do other things, and when you pay back this loan, you can actually get your tools back. So what they're talking about here, this requires real world verification, which means things like KYC have to come in. So they talk about a company called TinLake, and they talk about also things like the Aave protocol that is really getting into this sector. So you have to do KYC, and they talk about that. So before you can actually get into this new kind of framework they're trying to develop of actually leveraging real world assets. So if you see, they talk about, in this article, they talk about different atoms, or they talk about different tokens that can be generated. For example, if you provide your real world assets onto a DeFi platform that supports this, some tokens in here, they're called CVT tokens. They can be generated, and these tokens can be used for liquidity on the decentralized platforms and all other kinds of things. You can use them for NFTs in the ERC20 standards and so on. So basically, tokenization is what they're appealing to, and some of the examples of the platforms they talked about, like TinLake. Okay, so on TinLake you can see real world assets market, new silver market, curious. So the amazing thing about this is that some of these links that they've provided, they show you the articles, some of these platforms actually that you can actually look at to leverage this kind of thing. You can see this world assets. I'll click on this one. So it leverages USDC, DAI. This one leverages DAI, and so on. If you click on this first one, you notice that it takes you to Aave. So this is pretty much one of the biggest, if not the biggest, DEX on the Ethereum network in terms of the value they provide. And you can see here, onboarding required. Okay, to participate in the real world asset market, you will need to complete KYC and sign a subscription agreement with the issuer of real world assets market. So the other platforms they talk about, that like New Silver, getting started with New Silver, learn about the available loan products and requirements. So New Silver offers the following products to real estate investors. You will also click the link in each loan to get more details, so you can look more into this. Fix and flip, rent, ground up. So guys, if you're into this kind of thing, real world use cases of cryptocurrencies, I think this article was written so well, and it provides so much detail about what's going on. And guys, there's this platform as well, which is called Upshot, which is a beautiful platform which talks about different analytics, the API, so you can also see different ecosystems and how they're using. For example, I'll click Genie. Okay, so when you go to Genie, you can actually see that they they look at your NFT collection within your wallet, and hopefully if you have some novel NFTs, you can trade them with others. So maybe you can trade a version of the CryptoPunk with another, a version of Bored ABH Club. But because these are decentralized platforms, it means these pairs are created by real people. So anyone can come onto these platforms, you deposit your NFTs, and hopefully if someone wants to, I guess, swap your NFT, they can swap with it within that particular category, or maybe also within different categories. So this is pretty cool. I think these research articles that the Mettalex people released are extremely beneficial, and it's awesome that we're looking at them right now, because the links that they provide in here are going to help us on our journey and expand our education journey. So before I read that text that's highlighted, I think it's better if I show you what the Atomix platform looks like. It hasn't yet launched, but they summarize what it's doing and how it's going to launch hopefully in 2022, so this year. And here at the bottom, they say, realizing the potential of real-world assets in decentralized finance, Fetch.AI set up Atomix to provide borrowers secured lines of credit in stablecoins. So users who are not cash or crypto rich but dispose of valuable physical assets can benefit from Atomix by tokenizing the security taken over a variety of assets from real estate through music royalties to machinery and equipment. So borrowers can use those as collateral to receive loans in stablecoins / fiat currency. And Atomix will also operate in via several different tokens. So the ACT token will be minted as evidence of the security token over the real-world assets and will act as collateral for borrowing. So Atomix is the governance token of the protocol, and then stablecoins such as the USDT and USDC will be used as liquidity. So this little thing that you are seeing in text right here was about silver. So later on, the Aave community also came on board and backed TinLake Centrifuge by approving a proposal for the creation of real-world assets market on Aave. So the real-world assets market launched in December 2021 with 7 TinLake Centrifuge pools, including a new silver series to drop. According to their announcement, this will allow Aave depositors to earn yield against stable and correlated real-world collateral, and will allow Centrifuge issuers to stay collateral and borrow on the market. So guys, now let me talk about why Mettalex, this decentralized platform, why Vlad, the CTO of Mettalex, decided to push this out. Because essentially what this Mettalex DEX is trying to do, they're trying to have a collateralization of different real-world assets. So basically creating different tokens that represent your long and short position of maybe crypto tokens or other tokens like the silver market or the gold market or maybe Tesla or things like that. So they're trying to create a market where you can actually trade your long and short these markets, and they make it real easy because you trade within a band. So they have a floor and a cap depending on what crypto asset you're trying to trade, your long and short on. So basically, you know what your loss is going to be, you know what your profit is going to be, and these guys are appealing for more traders to come to this platform. So basically the summary, they said they want to release DeFi 2.0. They want multiple liquidity pools, or rather a single pool, so you can deposit one asset within the platform. So basically, by having these different tokens within Mettalex itself, it goes beyond just using the Mettalex token to reward people, because that's not a very sustainable model. So different ways of looking for liquidity, just like you've seen with the Aave platform, looking into other ways like NFTs and so on. This increases the incentivization of people using the platform. So getting into NFT lending and borrowing within the the Mettalex platform itself, and platform migration, so eventually looking to migrate to the Fetch.AI ecosystem. So migrating these smart contracts to a Cosmosm based smart contract infrastructure. So that's the Cosmos ecosystem that will enable the interoperability. Then also liquidity is one of the main things. That's why they're looking for traders to come in here, and they talk about looking at temporary solutions on how to really incentivize this liquidity ecosystem. And that's why I've talked about things like providing single liquidity pools or multiple liquidity pools onto the platform, and incentivizing people to come and trade on the platform. They talked about how they've looked at different data feeds to improve the data oracle, sort of data price feeds, which if they're able to improve that, we know that they've partnered with people like Dia in the past. I think they're also they looked at Chainlink in the past as well, to improve the type and quality of data feeds they provide. They also talked about how they partnered with S&P Platts, the Davis Index, and also Javelin. So these act as unique markets to improve the data basically data aggregation and providing data, a proper data feeds that allow that, because if you have proper data feeds, then you can easily short and long markets and really capitalize on those profit margins. So they also want to improve the analytics of these platforms, so that in case you're using their decentralized platform, you can easily analyze and know what is going on with your portfolio and so on. They're also looking to look at influencers, CoinGecko promotions using CoinGecko, CoinMarketCap, trading competitions, giveaways as well, improved analytics. We've talked about that, and also really focusing on trading fees and activity beyond just liquidity provision. So NFTs and really leveraging real world assets and improving the overall user experience and so on. So I think there was a lot to learn from today. The cryptocurrency space is really evolving in significant ways, and it's very important to really learn how the real world assets are really being brought onto the crypto space, because we don't want a lot of people to be left out because they don't understand the metaverse, the virtual worlds, and so on. So it's a good way to sort of a foray into connecting the real world to the cryptocurrency space. All right, guys, I really hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you took out something from today's video. A bit of a long one, but I truly believe it was a very important video. I hope you learned something. I'll see you on the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.